calm down on my drinking. It was just around 2007 that I decided that, you know what, enough's enough. I'm kind of an ass when I drink, and it also didn't help that, actually, no, this was around 2009, that I realized that I needed to stop. Mostly because of a friend who goes nameless, because he kind of still pissed me off with this incident, decided to record me while I was hammered. And I mean right out, flat out, passed out drunk. And I didn't like the way I sounded, I didn't like how I was talking, I did not like, so I asked him politely to delete the message, and he wound up doing it, and after that I decided, you know what, it's time to become a reformed alcoholic while following the footsteps of Robin Williams. And basically, if you don't know what a reformed alcoholic is, it is basically calming down to the point of stopping drinking, or pretty much stopping drinking, and you just pick out days of the year that you feel it would be necessary to drink. I have 5 separate days where I allow myself to drink. And yeah, and it's easy. Quitting drinking was so easy, but when I started drinking, I think it was around the same time that I started smoking weed. I was 13 when I started smoking weed, so I was about 13 and probably about 4 months. 13 and 4 months. So I was almost 14 by the time I started drinking. And that was mostly because my dad made it really easy because he quit drinking. So it was really easy to snake alcohol from him. And if my dad's listening to this, hi Dad. What we would do is we would find liquids that would mirror stuff like whiskey, scotch, bourbon, vodka, rum. Vodka and rum was easy to do because we just, dilute it with water up to a level. And we'd use like a felt tip pen or marker where we could wipe it away. It was easily erasable. So we would draw the level of the line where the alcohol was, and then we'd fill that up to that point with water. If it was whiskey, it would be iced tea. We ruined a lot of fucking alcohol because my dad decided, and the beer in the fridge, we drank like immediately. And my dad was wondering where all the beer went. And we're like, you know what? We got rid of it because we didn't want you to have the temptation. He's like, how did you get rid of it? Oh, we dumped it down the drain. Bullshit lie. We drank it, Dad. We drank all of it. Yeah, so when I started drinking, I was about nearing 14, and it was quite interesting because it was around the time that, my life was changing because I was held back here because of a medical condition, because back in, the late 90s, nobody knew what epilepsy was, so they had to, basically treat me like I was an idiot, and treat me like I was retarded, or stupid, or dumb, or anything along those lines. So they took me out of all the classes I was excelling in. This is in Balmoral, Manitoba. And stuck me in remedial classes with a girl that sucked on her fingers, ate glue, and a boy that had anger issues, would bite teachers and punch teachers, and another kid who's really cool who has fetal alcohol syndrome. And there was me, who was relatively normal, but had epilepsy. So they took me out of math. I had, nearing an 80 in math. Like, I was almost an A student in math. I also, was pulled out of history or social studies, which I had a decent, grade in with that. I believe it was around a B minus, which wasn't too bad. LA was probably about a B, and French was, of course, like a 57, and phys ed was, a passing grade because being athletic was awesome until I started smoking, and then that all went to shit because I could barely run, because I didn't have the lung capacity, because nicotine was holding it back, and all the chemicals were holding it back, all the tar was holding it back. So my life changed then, because I would start doing stuff that I would normally be doing, but I would continue to do it. So alcohol always played a, pivotal role in my upbringing. That's mostly because I grew up around it. Sorry, needed to take a hoot. Hoot in the swig. Alright, so quitting. What else did I quit? Well, we'll continue with the drinking because, I find going to the bars and drinking to be a waste of time, a waste of money. And really, people say, oh, you gotta be more sociable, you gotta go out. Fuck that. Why would I want to go out to a bar, waste a bunch of money with loud music that I don't fucking like, and just have an all-around bad time? I'd much rather, have people over, have a few beers, have a bonfire, sit around that, and, just have fun. Have fun with the people that you're around and play the music that you enjoy. And speaking of music that we're going to enjoy, this is going to be a little bit of segue into next week's episode. I am going to play some more music right away, and it is going to be of one of my favorite artists, and then that'll segue into tomorrow's episode, where we will begin the journey into madness. And that's when I start talking about music. And it's been fun talking about, everything leading up until now. But it's time to go to a format that I'm a little bit more comfortable with, that, I can talk about both. I can talk about my personal life and give you some insight about that and make fun of myself. Because, hey, if you can't be a comedian, if you can't handle the pressure of making fun of yourself to make other people's lives a little bit easier and happier and full of laughter. Okay, so time is flying, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the quitting of smoking is going to help me. I am scared shitless, I can't fucking lie. Mostly because it's a scary world. It's a scary world, and I've seen it change so much, and I don't like it. But you have to adapt to the changes in the world, and it's scary. It's fucking scary, man. I mean, you look what's happening in the States, and you look what's happening in fucking Canada, and honestly, I want to fucking slap Trudeau. Like, he's trying to play Canada as a powerhouse that doesn't need any help from any other fucking country. Like, fuck the United Nations. Trudeau, here's the thing about having an alliance with different countries. One, you pick your moments in battles. Just because people come from a country and they come into this country doesn't mean that you, yourself, have a say on how their laws are. Look out for your own country. Protect your own citizens. The people that are held in those camps or held in those prisons for speaking out of turn went against the law in Saudi Arabia. That has nothing to do with us, because those people that are in this country are refugees. They have the refugee status. They aren't actually seen as Canadian citizens. They are refugees to Canada. They came here to escape the turmoil in their own country. We've already offered them all we could give them. We have no say about how they're treating their own fucking citizens, Trudeau. That's nothing to do with us. No wonder the United States isn't backing us. No wonder England's not backing us. England isn't even fucking stepping up with us. So, Trudeau, you're fucking over our alliances and not even, negotiating the standards of the NAFTA agreement with Trump is fucking stupid. Like, you're screwing over our economy. Why? Oh, because you think the carbon tax is going to fix our economy, so we don't need the NAFTA agreement. You think that the legalization of marijuana is going to help fix our fucking deficit problem. You're fucking high on glue if you think that's going to be happening. I think you've been eating more glue than that girl that I was in remedial classes with, Dave. My personal opinion, I would just say, Mr. Trudeau, please stop smoking marijuana and trying to run this country, because you're doing a shit job of it. And look this up online. 10 of the worst things that Justin Trudeau has done since being elected as Prime Minister. Just look it up. And you'll be surprised. It's mind-boggling. Like, how he got away with almost 2 years of doing very, very fucking little to help this country. And people just being like, well, we have to put up with it because we elected him. You know what? It was the millennial generation that fucking elected him because they wanted to legalize marijuana. They liked the way he dressed, they liked the way he looked, and apparently he's relatively attractive. If that's the fucking case, I have very little intelligence. I have a diploma in radio, television broadcasting. I have some semblance of how the world works. I'm really bad with money. Why not? I can run for office. Yeah. So next election, Big Bad Blair Lukey is going to be running for Prime Minister of fucking Canada. I'm scared shitless, I can't lie. I've never ran a country before. Haven't even ran a province. Oh, holy shit. Just like Justin Trudeau. Failed science teacher. Failed lawyer. Born with a silver spoon in his fucking mouth. It's funny how people get elected in this nation just because of who they know and who they are. Okay, on to some music. We're gonna wind this down a little bit more, and we're gonna play some Chris Cornell. Like I said, we're segueing into tomorrow's episode, where I will be discussing more issues pertaining to overdoses and my war on the world, and the war on people, the war on ignorance. Like, I can tell you what the show's gonna be about tomorrow. So this is gonna be part 7. I had the yet to titled episode. This episode, of course, is entitled Puppies and Fucking Sunshine. And we're gonna have the war on nicotine. That's gonna be a continuation and development of progress of how I'm doing with the quitting of smoking. The war on cyclists in Winnipeg. I fucking hate them. The war on lazy people. More people I fucking hate. More people I'd like to, fill a burlap sack full of bricks and beat the shit out of. Won't actually happen because, a bag of bricks is actually pretty fucking heavy. And if you've seen me, I can't lift a bag of bricks. And then we're going to go into the journey of Chris Cornell, and that's when we're going to start talking about depression and suicide and everything else that goes with it. Alright, for some reason I'm no longer recording. Because I have no fucking signal.